Hello, everyone. I hope you are well this Monday, January 5, 2023. We meet today to talk about AVAX, Avalanche's crypto. So, as usual, we're going to split this video into two parts. A fundamental part, we will come back to what Avalanche is, its news, the role of AVAX in Avalanche, and then we will project ourselves onto the charts for short, medium, long-term purchase prices, short sale prices, medium, long-term, and it starts right away. What is Avalanche? So Avalanche is a level 1 blockchain, what we call layer 1, which aims to offer an ecosystem for developers to build decentralized applications. The goal of a layer 1 is to offer a technical layer so that application developers can build decentralized applications. They are large suppliers of Lego to be able to build the castle that the developer wants. This is their new image with a notion of create without limits, in which we will in fact have a blockchain which is not limited, in which we really want to evolve. You will see at the end of this fundamental video, you will quickly understand why. But they went through several images in 2021, it looked like that, in which we actually had the production of small Legos for developers, and in which we could really easily build applications, decentralized. So that's still the case, but they were really focused on that, except that they evolved their image towards the notion of multiverse, and especially the notion of gaming, and which still took a big part of their image. And now they are much more general, which is good, because Avalanche has been used by several big projects, and selected by several big projects that are going to come out, more institutional and big finances that are going to come. So what's interesting is that Avalanche compared itself at the time, so this is a screen that dates from 2021 to Polkadot, to show you their original desire to go for a solution of interoperability. Because they compared themselves to Bitcoin and Ethereum, well, I never really understood the interest, but especially to Polkadot. And this is something that we find a little bit, we will see it with the notion of subnets. Subnets being mini avalanches, which are made available in which you can build your own blockchain using Avalanche technology and connecting it, whether you wish or not, directly to the public network. However, we have a technology that is EVM compatible in which we can port applications made in Solidity and therefore on Ethereum, and this is part of what we call the EVM ecosystem. However, the subnet is really an important element in their evolution because it is what made it possible to validate, in fact, a certain number of institutions who use Avalanche or who will use Avalanche in their various projects because they actually have a hand in the game. Configurable and able to do absolutely what they want in the way they want. Besides, as I told you, the image of video games worked well, because when you look a little at the Twitter newsfeed on Avalanche, you will see that there are still many games that have launched on Avalanche to use Avalanche technology, for example, to offer added value to their users and their players. And it is Avalanche's success in this area is little, in which they still manage to conquer many independent studios. Besides, at the token level, we find ourselves at a valuation of 26 billion, which is already relatively substantial in diluted market cap valuation, of course. We are on a dilution of 50, so we pay close attention to this side. With an unlock of 47 days, so in 47 days, we will have $350 million, which will be released in an avalanche, at least at the current price. It's February 22, 2024. Note the good, in which we will necessarily have a massive profit taking, or at least partial, so we could have a certain number of elements, so we will have to be careful. In the developments, we have several things. We have the notion of interoperability, which has really been pushed since August. We talk a lot about the notion of warp messaging, which is in fact the interconnection between the different subnets and the different chains which are EVM compatible, the goal being to have an interoperability solution. We don't forget what we said at the start of the video, they compared themselves to Polkadot. It's not for nothing. It's that they are trying to create an ecosystem which is mostly interoperable and which allows to have some valorization like that of this notion of interoperability. And in any case, all the blockchains that will arrive or that were built in 2021 have this idea and have this desire to create a stack that is interoperable. A bit like the Cosmos SDK, which is the Cosmos development kit, which made it possible to develop, in fact, all the big blockchains that we currently know. Even the BNB chain at the base was developed from Cosmos SDK, and they all try to actually reproduce that by giving value to their token in their ecosystem. Alongside, we have some small conventions which go a little unnoticed, but which should really be noted, in which we talk about Avalanche evolution. What they want to do is have a very large transaction output, so it's being able to do a lot of transactions per second, but above all to achieve a finality of 100-200 milliseconds. So it's IR 0 1 second, 0 2 seconds, to arrive almost on of immediacy. This is what they want, and this is what they are doing in their net test. And precisely these are the different developments that we are going to have on Avalanche. And this is one of the reasons why also I am monitoring this project a lot, because it is progressing very quickly. And as I told you at the time in 2021 and 2022 Avalanche, it is a blockchain which is still very close to the financial world and of traditional finance. When we look at the way in which it was financed, we take into account that there is a very strong place for the trad fee, which is therefore in traditional finance. And therefore that means that for me, it will be a solution which will necessarily be used by traditional finance, and in which they have, in all cases, potential clients and a list of potential clients which is relatively large. So that being said, we are going to attack the technical part, where I am not going to go back too much on the previous cycle, but we had an acceleration phase which was carried out in 3 stages, in which we had a first phase which was very important, in which we went from around 3 towards a maximum, which was carried out on 60 with a delay period, a retracement, a retest, and then we are accelerated with a first delay. And an attack which was carried out here at 146 in November 2021 before retracing in rather classic ABC and arriving in this wick-off accumulation zone which is relatively strong, in which we had the first deceleration. So the first stop of the trend in June with Celsius, and then we had the implementation in November 2022 with FTX, and January 2023, in which we had here not a lateralization, but rather a very steep descent, and we had a first indication of a restart. Also with this break-F structure at the beginning 2023, and we had an avalanche which had a lot of difficulty, in fact, to recover, and we printed a new low, so we have a SCTB and a spring which was carried out, and then we took liquidity bullish reacceleration in which we had difficulty breaking here the range that we had, so we had the temporalization, and then when we made the break, we swallowed, in fact, all the shorts that were there. With this 4 December 2023, we really had a break and a very strong injection of liquidity at the level of Avalanche, and we are in a retracement phase, which is rather classic, and we are in the process of retracement, and I think that we will retrace again because that we have margin. We have several zones to retest. We have here the 30 to retest, in which we have the top of my spot zone, and at the same time, in fact, this top, which is really important to retest, and at the same time we have a large part of imbalance, which is here. The final target would be the 23 to aim for a slight retracement. For a severe retracement, we could go as far as the 12. Be careful. We have imbalance there. It all depends on what will happen with the BTC ETFs. We are dependent on that. If we have a sell the news typology, that implies that we risk being relatively expensive. Remember that if BTC goes down by 10, altcoins will go down by 20. That's roughly the ratio. So this implies that if we have a sell the news, which is 15, we could have a minus 30. So we would arrive at this first area. If we have a sell the news, which is much more aggressive with less 25, less 30, that means that we would be on at least 50 or even potentially less 60, and we would be roughly in this area. So we're just being very careful about that. On the other hand, we could very well not have a sell in news and have an acceleration of BTC in which we would have a lateralization before having an alt ease in and push from this side to that. In any case, in terms of the targets that we could set, there are still some good ones. Firstly, for me, this is 9100. It is a first sellout zone which will be very important, in which people will take their profit, and we will look for those who are already stranded from Terra Luna. Obviously, we will have a big outing which will take place there. Then, for me, the targets would be a 3 Elliotist wave, with a third Elliotist wave which brings us to a target of 1618 from AVAX to 242. 242, that would bring us to a diluted market cap of 280 billion approximately, which is rather consistent at the end of a bullish cycle. On a top 10, top 7, maybe even top 5, why not? It could return. So Avalanche still has a potential which is very important. You just have to pay attention once again to your risks and the management of your risks and the management of your capital. I hope you liked this video. If so, don't forget to leave me a like and a comment. It always makes me very happy, and above all, it supports the work I do, and we'll see each other again tomorrow for Saturday's video. If you want to train and really enjoy bull running, it's simple. There is perfect, complete, free training available. It's through an educational journey that teaches you everything about blockchain, crypto, investment, technical analysis, and trading. All this for free in comments and descriptions. You have exercises, multiple choice questions, modules, videos, guides, everything to support you in your progress.